What is up, guys? I'm going to be sharing my story with you today. As International Women's Day is coming to a close, I thought it was only right to contribute to a cause I think is incredible and I think really should be heard more of. My name is Lily. I work at a shop, and I knew from the moment that I was offered this job that I knew what would come with that and what could potentially come with that and what challenges could come with that and I could face. But I took it because I don't know, it's kind of a mix of wanting the life experience and needing a job. So I take it. And at first, everything's okay. I go a week, maybe 2 without an incident. I've been there 9 months now. And I'd only been there about a week, maybe 2 weeks, when we had a customer come in. And of course I did the typical, hey, what can I help you with? Because he'd come over asking something. And I go and I help him get what he needs, or I help him look for what he needs and I can't find it. So I put my headset on because my manager wasn't in that day. So we had another manager in instead. And I put my headset on and I go, hey, can you help me find this, please? And she goes, yeah, sure, I'll be there now. So she walks over and she helps us find what we need. And then she walks away again. And I carry on doing what I'm doing. 5 minutes passed and this customer is still stood there looking at me. So I get up and I put on my best customer service voice, trying to hide the mix of fear and anxiety I'm feeling. And I look at him and I go, what can I do for you? Is there anything else you need to help finding? And he looks at me and goes, no, I'm just watching. And I feel the panic and the fear bubble inside of me as I begin to feel more uncomfortable. And I stand there and I nod because I don't know what to do. So I carry on doing what I'm doing and he takes a step forward. So I move back. And this goes on for a couple of minutes until he stood relatively close. And then I get a really, really bad feeling. I grew up being told to follow my gut instinct, and I do that to this day. If in my stomach something feels wrong, I follow my gut because it's almost always right in the experiences I've had. And I get up and I go, I'm really sorry, I need to go and get something from the back. Bye. And as I leave, he turns and walks out of the shop. Or he goes, pays for his stuff and walks out of the shop. And I'm at the back and I put my headset on and I get my boss and I'm like, can you do me a favour and come out the back? Something's just happened and I feel uncomfortable. She comes running straight away. My mum works at the same shop, so luckily we knew almost every customer that came in and I explained and I gave a description of the man. And then we go back through security cameras and she looks at me and goes, that is weird. Now, I've dealt with issues before. This wasn't my first time I've had an issue. My first time in the shop, but not out in public, which I'll explain in a minute. And then came the fact in the shop that I had to be there for another hour. After the things I had already dealt with, which like I said, I'll explain momentarily, it became frightening to go back onto the shop floor where everyone could see me. I had it was either a panic attack or an anxiety attack, I don't remember which. But I had one or the other. And with that, I call my mum. Or I send my mum a message and I'm like, hey, this is what happened. She's like, do you need me to come and pick you up? Do you want to come home now? Are you sure you want to do this? And I've been there 2 weeks. I'm not walking out of my shift early. So I compose myself and I go back out. I go back on the shop floor and I finish. And my boss, she stays close the whole time. Her eyes are always on me just in case. We're quite lucky with that we have cameras at the front of the shop, like a big screen with cameras on that shows everything going on in the shop. So my other colleague, who I consider a friend, he's in the shop at the same time, and the boss who was on at the time explained to him what had happened, and they both keep an eye on me. Now, I'm going to talk about my previous experiences before this one, where it was literally I think it was the year beforehand, like around the year anniversary of this first event, that the second one at the shop had actually happened. And this first event took place when just after we had moved to England, or we'd been in England about 3 years, so not just after, but anyway, we had moved here around 3 years beforehand, and I had a little group of friends, and we had decided we all wanted to go out. We were all around, I don't remember how old we were, but we had a younger girl with us. She was about 10 years old. And we go and we sit in this field by my house on this ramp, and we sat there, and this older man slowly walks in. I'd seen him a couple of times walk through the field and stuff anyway. And as he walks through, he stops and he walks into the skate park that we're in. And obviously, our instant reaction is protect the younger one. And we do. Everyone, apart from me, gets off the thing because I'm instantly ready to fight if I need to. I make sure everyone else is protected first. And as I go to jump down, he reaches out to grab me. And I jump down off the ramp, very nearly breaking my knee in the process. And I pull my phone out. He sees the phone and he turns and walks. So we decide we move. This man then does a lap of the pitch that we're sat in. And he comes back. He comes back again for the second time. And he walks towards us and he opens his arms in a way to grab one of us or hug one of us. So as he walks towards us, we all of us pull our phones out. And I'm instantly on the phone to my mum. I called my mum as soon as it happened. The first time I was like, Mum, this is what happened. She goes, stay out if you want to, and let me know if it happens again. So I say, okay. And I do. I call her as soon as it happens a second time. Luckily, the younger girl, she lives literally, or she lived, they've left now. She lived just down the road from me. So I grabbed her by the hand. I was like, listen, we're going to go home. And we're going to, because she was a little bit confused. She didn't really know what was going on. She just knew there was a strange man acting weird. So I go, I'm gonna take you back to yours, and then I'm gonna walk back up to mine, okay? She goes, okay. So we all split because we all live in different directions. Luckily we all had each other's numbers. And this man had turned and he had left when he'd seen us all with the phones. And I ran as fast as I could, keep making sure that she could keep up, of course. And I ran her home, and I knocked on her door, and I explained everything. And at this point, I'm on the verge of tears, because I don't know what to do. I've never in my life have I dealt with a situation like this before, and I was scared. Who wouldn't be? So they offered to walk me home, and I say no. I have my phone in my hand just in case, and I sprint the rest of the way home, because I know if I didn't, then I would be really, really paranoid. So I run, and the incline up to my house is really, really steep, and I'm running as fast as I can up this hill. And I get home, and my mum, my neighbour, and one of the girls who lived 2 doors down from me, she'd moved now, and she was like my big sister. We were all stood outside waiting for me to come home, as well as my other neighbour. There was about 4, maybe there was like 6. There was like 6 people waiting for me to come home safe. And I got in, and I break down because I'm scared, and I start to have a panic attack. So we go in. Once they know I'm okay, once I've calmed down, we all go inside, and we call the police. Because we didn't know what else to do. Because if that man was still out there, that man used to sit on the bench right outside my old primary school. And he would talk to my mother on a daily basis. And that filled me with fear. So we call the police. And they say if anyone else, and originally they wanted to come over and get a statement from me. So Mum told me to go upstairs, she told me to go and shower, told me to go and get myself sorted, so I did. And then I walk downstairs and a couple hours go by and she gets a call back. And she's like, hello. And they tell her that if anyone else reports anything, they want a personal statement from me. And I'm sat there, I'm still crying, I'm still upset, I'm still scared, I'm shaken. And for months after, I refused to leave the house by myself. Walking to school became a really big challenge for me. For 2 years, a year, 2 years, I think I've literally, even now I struggle some days. And a couple of not even a couple of weeks later, the fair, there's this big fair that comes to where I live, and they were there, and my friend wanted me to go with her, so I agree. My mum tells me to call her when I get home because this fair was right opposite my best friend's house. So we go to this fair. And as I'm leaving to meet my mum at the other end of the pitch, I go to cross the road. And this black van slows down and starts honking the horn and starts catcalling me. And I pick up my phone and I realise I'm shaking again. Mind, I was younger at this time. I didn't really understand what a panic attack was. And I call my mum and I'm scared, I'm hyperventilating, I'm struggling. And she tells me to run to the other end of the pitch once I've calmed down, so I do. And 2 minutes later my mum appears and she calms me down, she helps. And we walk home. And then a couple of months ago, I was walking to meet my best friend in the whole universe, who sadly left. I was on the phone with him, we were on the phone, we were going swimming. It was in the middle of half term, we'd all agreed, me, him and my best friend were going swimming. We're going swimming. And as I'm walking to pull the money out I need for swimming, I'm on the phone with him and I'm walking. Luckily I didn't have my headphones in. And this older man, he's probably in his 50s, maybe early 60s, steps in front of me and tries to grab me. I jump to the side and I'm on the phone and I go, you need to hurry up. He's like, what's happened? Some guys just tried to grab me, I don't know what to do. And he sprints, he lives like half an hour away on foot. And he sprints up and down 3 really steep hills to get to me. And I get to work to pull out the money. And I start crying. And I start having a panic attack. And I'm sat there in the back of the shop waiting for Nathan. Waiting for my mate to show up. We'll call him Nathan. It's not his name, but that's what we'll call him. I'm waiting for him to show up. It's like the first name that came to brain. And he shows up. And he asks what happened, and I explain, and he doesn't leave my side. He doesn't leave my side all day. And then the next day, I'm sent. I was told to go to the shop for something. And the worst thing was this one. It was a military ambulance that drove past me who stopped and started barking and catcalling me. Military ambulance. But the moral of this story is that women go through a lot that shouldn't be gone through, and I completely understand men go through the same thing. But today is the day, the one day of the year we get to prove that we get to show we are stronger than that. I deal with a lot. There's a lot that the world doesn't know. Behind the singing, behind the acting, behind the smile. And I'm not ready to put out. But it's stuff that I've overcome myself. And it's stuff that has made me stronger as a person after I had to build myself back up brick by brick by brick. And of course I wish none of it had ever happened, but It's made me stronger. And that's what today is for. So any woman or any girl who sees this, today, tomorrow, and every day afterwards is your day to shine. Is your day to prove and your day to stand up for yourself. Your day to show that you are stronger than anyone. Because you are strong, you are perfect, and you can do anything you put your mind to, no matter if you're male, female, transgender, non-binary, or anything else. You can do whatever you want in life. Because you're strong. And no matter what life throws at you, no matter how much it hurts, you can get back up. I've gotten back up so many times, and trust me, there have been so many times I didn't want to get back up. So many times I didn't have the courage to get back up for a very long time. And when I did, it still hurt, but hurt a bit less. So, keep going. Keep being you, and don't let anyone tell you you can't be. Because there are so many people who love you for you. But this is my story, and I'd love to hear yours. And I would love to support you through your story, as you guys have mine without even realizing it. Thank you for listening. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to. I'm not going to force you to do anything, but it would really, really help. And I would love to see you guys again in my next long form video. Goodbye.